separates the person. Got to do that. Why again? Because you got power relationship. You got that even in the person. One part of the person has got to control the other part of the person, so you got to separate the person. Okay? If it was whole, then you couldn't do that. So you're always going to get these splits, these separations. Then you get hierarchy. What does that mean? That one part is better than the other, right? And that the better part is to control the worse. And he talks about that throughout the Republic, the better controlling the worse. So he first begins by splitting the person into reason and emotion. And it sounds great. You know, of course you want your reason to control your emotion. But when you really think about it, you know, are they separate? And where are they? You know, and aren't they part of each other, and so forth. You see, you have to raise questions, but what this does is there are certain embedded assumptions. And what's an assumption? An assumption is something you don't question, you don't even think about, you don't even know that you got it. It's just there, and you work with it. But then it determines everything else that you do. You see? And we're trying to get at the level of assumption. Okay, then we move to the process of splitting or making dichotomies. And in your vocabulary list, you've got that simplified. Then you'll see how that will be done. And what is important is that you will see how the process of this splitting, of this making dichotomies, fits with power relationships and with imperialistic behavior. Because you've got to be able to say, these are the objects over which it's okay for us to have control, and over which it's okay for us to have power. Okay? So that's what's going on on page 33. Robert Armstrong is supporting that view. And the paragraph towards the bottom on page 33 is supporting that view. If we pick up again, let's go to on page 34, again, you have splitting, confrontation, and control. First you make your splits, then they are confronting each other, they're fighting each other, then there's the control of one by the other. This is in their thought now. Okay, this is how they say we're supposed to think. Then on page 35, what is important to understand here as you read is the difference between the rational order and the ma'atic order. The rational order and the ma'atic order. The Europeans seek what kind of order? Rational order. Rational order is simply about control. It's about imposing the control of the mind on the world, the shape of the mind on the world. But the mind that's being imposed on the universe is the European mind, which is a mind, what did we say about it before? Or a being, which is what? Incomplete, lacking connectedness. So the order that's imposed is one that is not cosmic, is not spiritual, is not ma'atic, because the ma'atic order, the order of ma'at, comes out of the natural makeup of the universe. Okay? So what they're doing instead is imposing their order. And look back to a chart that you'll have, I think it's H, of the European Asili, where they have to create this rational order so that they can feel in control. Okay, that's what rationalism is. Okay, it's not reason. It is the imposition of their being on the universe and saying that everything is really takes that form. Okay? That will come up again and again, and I would like to ask you to take the theme of rationalism and see if you can tie it through chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, wherever you see it. See how it expresses itself. Harmony does not come from a rational order, but that is what Plato says. Is that clear? When you read it, you'll see what he tries to do. He says that harmony is the best ruling the worst. That's not our concept of harmony. Then the object. Page 36, page 37. This is going to be important, and it's going to come over and over again. The process of objectification. Just trying to see if there's something people can read here. If you look at page 37, before you come to the quote by Vernon Dixon, talks about the way that objects are created, and they are created by totally detaching the self from what is to be known. Read the rest of that, and you will understand that process. Begin to understand that process. It comes from a detachment. You must detach yourself from what is known. You know, in